Hello my hatchlings, it is Looney, and today I'm going to show y'all a redraw of an old 2019 picture of Blue Spinel. So let's get started. So to start off with, this is my second time trying to redraw this chick. The first one ended up looking a little bit too much like a gremlin, so this is the second iteration. I might upload the original try as like a little blooper reel after this is uploaded. But as I'm starting off, I'm just kind of blocking in her form. I had originally thought that I would have her be doing like a little umbrella bubble type thing, which is the reason why her hand is like that. But in the end, I didn't really think that it would fit that well. Usually whenever I'm drawing, I like to block in the eyes first, because the eyes are the parts that are the things that people look at the most, aside from like the whole picture obviously. But I like to start out by doing the eyes when I'm fresh in the drawing, because then I'm not too weary or tired, and then I can actually put in a lot of detail into them. And I also like to sketch out with red, and then the clothing I do like a dark blue because that contrasts well with the red. And then sometimes I'll do green for the hair, but this time I did not. You can see me using these eyeshadow brushes that I got off the Clip Studio asset store. They are really good. They are awesome. I think they were free. If not, then they were just a couple of clippy points. So now I am blocking in her skin tone. As you can see, her hair is going to be like really light, as you saw in the original, and her skin is going to be really dark. I did that because I thought it would be really interesting to have like a really, really deep blue character with light blue hair. I thought that would be a good contrast, because normally, the hair is the darkest part, and then the skin, or just, whatever color you got your character, it's normally the lightest. So I thought it would be interesting just to have her have like really deep blue skin. Now I'm messing around with the shading of the hair and stuff. I was going to do the hearts, because in the original I had the highlights be hearts, but I decided against it and just went with more of a like droplet of water type shading. Here I am redoing her eyelashes, because I realized that I had made like her hair outline a little bit too light. I like to really have the hair outline kind of dark, and then I like to have the eyelashes even darker than the hair outline, just so that way they stand out. And here I'm redoing her dress, because the way that she has been redesigned, I realized that the dress design that I had initially didn't really fit her, and here I'm struggling trying to put a diamond shape on her chest. But I thought that the original dress design was a little bit too childlike for this new design, so I ended up looking up a tutu with a corset. And here I am blocking in her arms. Now I'm reworking on her hand. This was before I thought about giving her gloves, but I come in and give her some gloves later. But I had to look at my hand while I was drawing this. It was really funny. But I'm very proud of that hand. And then I end up ignoring the other one, because that's just how it is. You do a really good job on the one hand, and then the other one is like, I'll work on you later. And here I am trying to do the crystal heart thing, little Spinel heart. I actually had to look up how to do the symmetry thing, but Here's me just blocking in the colors of the Spinel gem, putting in some highlights, blending it in, outlining it, etc. You can see it with your eyeballs. And then I look at it and I'm like, damn, that looks really good. Everything else looks flat, and that looks like an actual gemstone. Here I am testing out my different fur brushes that I also downloaded off of the Asset store. I ended up going with this one. And in the finished product, I'm not really sure if I like the light colored polka dot leggings, but I end up just going along with it because that's part of the original design that I had, and I just thought that they looked really cute, and it went along with the like water bubbly type thing that the blue diamond gems seem to have going on. I ended up extending her leg a little bit because I wanted both legs to be touching the floor. But the way that I had it earlier was that one was just barely not touching. So I went in and I extended her leg a little bit so they were both touching the ground. And here I am, blocking in her dress, like cleaning up the sketches I've got. And here I am trying to see about the different skirt brushes that I've got. I don't know how to do ruffles. I mean, I could probably do ruffles if I sat here for like a million hours trying ruffles, but I have brushes for it. So here I am doing her gloves. Here I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this hand? I'm just going to have it be a fist, whatever, against her hip. There we go. And then me trying to figure out my layers. Here I am rendering her face. This is when I realized that I had put in her deepest, darkest shadow color on first. Normally whenever I color in characters, I put the middle tone in there first. And then I do the highlights and then the shadows. But with this one, I did the shadow color for her main color. And then I had to go in and do I basically had to treat the middle tone and then the highlight tone as like two highlights. And I wasn't used to that, so I ended up kind of messing around a little bit. And then I was like, oh, hey, what does this brush do? And it did some really cool glitter, sparkle, freckle things. I'm like, oh, you know what? She's going to have some freaking freckles. Here I am exploring with the airbrush tool. I don't really know a whole lot about Clip Studio Paint, so most of my drawings I tend to experiment with different things. Like this one, I'm using the airbrush for shading when normally I just use the pen tool and blend or blur the different colors. Here I'm just being lazy. Now I'm starting on the actual dress, and I think I did pretty good in picking the colors for the dress. I wanted to have like a completely blue color family. I wanted her to be monotone, even though her eyeshadow is a little bit on the purple side. But if you look at the color wheel, all of her colors are still blue. It's just that they're more in the gray area. And when you do blue in the gray area, it kind of makes it more of a purple color without actually being purple. And as you can see, I accidentally started drawing when I had the recording pause. That happens to me sometimes. I'll pause the recording so I can get my life right, get my life together, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well that looks good, and then I'll draw, and then I'm like, oh crap, I got it on pause. And yes, I did trace the ruffle brush, whatever it is. Now I'm blocking in the colors, and I think it was after I finished coloring in all the ruffles that I'm like, I don't really like the way that the colors look. I kind of want to make the top one a little brighter. Then I made it brighter, and then I'm like, I don't want it to be that bright, So then I changed it a little bit back, and then I made the top ruffle and the bottom ruffle the same color. And then I made the two ruffles in the middle even darker. And now I'm satisfied with it, so now I'm doing the background. I decided to keep the theme of the original where she is in like some clouds and it's raining. I put like an overlay, like a dark blue overlay on top because her pants were like blinding me whenever I had actually put in that gradient behind in the clouds. And so that's it. This is the finished product. I ended up adding in some lightning in post-production. But that's Blue Spinel. Hope y'all enjoyed it.